Hello, it's good to see you. Today we are back to read some more from my story Holiday. Now I do need to tell you up front, there is a depiction of someone taking their life in this section. It's brief, it's not graphic. Not really, but I wanted to mention that before we get started in case that is a problem, something you don't want to hear about. I just wanted to go ahead and mention that before we get to that point. All right, so we're at chapter 6. Aiden, Litty, and Jerry crossed Friendly Avenue together, heading south on Elm Street. Jerry bumped into Litty several times while looking up at the buildings. Litty lightly stepped away from him as they walked. "What's the matter?" she asked him. "You've never seen big buildings before?" Jerry scoffed. "Big? This place is nothing compared to New York City. Those buildings make this place look like no man's land." "Oh, you've been to New York?" Aiden asked him. "Well, no, but I've seen it on TV." "You should go sometime," Aiden said, looking at Litty. "I've spent quite a bit of time there over the years. It's a wonderful place. Most of it, anyway." "I bet you've saved souls all over the world, huh?" Jerry asked him. "Let's just say my services are always in demand somewhere." Litty said. "I bet they are, what with the—" Jerry stopped. "Look," he said, pointing at a sign above one of the nightclubs. "That's one of those, what do you call it? A video sign?" "No, that's not right. One of the ones like a TV screen. You see how it keeps changing? If I ever had a club, I'd want one of those out front. They really catch your eye." "You think about that club a lot, don't you?" Aiden asked. "This isn't just some passing fancy for you. It's something you really want." "I don't know. We were talking about it earlier, so I guess it's just on my mind more than usual. But yeah, that'd be really awesome." They walked on past the club. "You do realize that there's more to having one of those strip joints than partying and carrying around bags of cash, right?" Litty asked him. "It's actual work. Probably a lot of drama, too. And dangerous. What if you had some drug addict working for you? What if somebody came in and shot up the place? Do you even know how to run a business? What experience do you have?" "Litty, calm down," Aiden said. "There's nothing wrong with exploring possibilities, thinking about your dreams. It takes a brave person to do that." "I'm not all that brave," Jerry said, staring in the window of a bakery as they walked past. "I never told anybody about that before today. Not a soul. I kept it to myself because I knew there was no way I could ever do it, and everybody just laugh at me if I said anything out loud. Nobody's ever asked me about my dreams before today, which is pretty sad if you think about it. Not even my parents." "Oh, boo-hoo," Litty said. "At least you have parents." "I don't know why, but for some reason I'm having trouble." Aiden put a hand on Litty's arm and shook his head. "You're wrong," he said to Jerry. "There is a way you can do it, and I promise nobody would laugh about it." "Are we talking about the same thing?" Jerry said. "I was referring to the strip club idea." "Right," Aiden said simply. "So am I." "But you can't possibly approve of something like that. Do you know what goes on in a strip club?" "I have a general idea." "How can you be okay with that?" "That's just your puritanical heritage talking," Aiden said. "God created Adam and Eve, right? The Bible says he did. God created the female body, sexuality, all that good stuff." "Yeah. Then why would I have a problem with the celebration of those two things? Your strip club could be a tribute to God's handiwork. How could that be a bad thing? I think it's a marvelous idea. Don't you, Litty?" "Isn't that the same argument they used in that movie about Larry Flint?" Aiden narrowed his eyes but smiled. "Maybe so, but I still believe in it all the same. People have been led to believe a lot of things these past few centuries that go against God's will, to your detriment, but it's not your fault. I'm here to try to right some of those wrongs, and Jerry, I'm going to need your help for that to happen." "My help? What could I do?" "Plenty," Aiden said. They stopped at the intersection with Washington Street. "Let's take a right. See what's going on down that way." "We're already pretty far from the pizza place," Litty said. "How far are we going?" "Don't worry, not much farther now." They walked down the street past the courthouse without anyone saying a word. Crossing Eugene Street, Litty chuckled. "What's funny?" Aiden asked her. "Just you, this whole thing. I never got to see this side of it before." "Side of what?" Jerry asked. "Nothing," Aiden said. "Litty and I have some things to discuss later." He pointed at a construction site across the street. "Either of you know what's going on over there?" Jerry shrugged. "That's going to be our new jail," Litty said. "I get that it's convenient to have it so close to the courthouse and all, but why does it have to be right smack dab in the middle of downtown? It's like something out of a Batman movie, like we're in Gotham City. What a way to revitalize downtown, huh?" "Those cranes are really impressive," Aiden said. He had stopped to look at them, the toes of his shoes hanging off the edge of the sidewalk. "How tall do you suppose they are?" "About 100 feet, Litty said. "Can we move on and do whatever it is you—" Aiden pointed north. "You know, I bet we could see Center City Tower from the top of one of those cranes." "Yeah, probably," Jerry said, and then paused. His eyes followed the slightly taller crane from the top down to the ground. He suddenly felt very dizzy. "What are you getting at, Aiden? I feel like you want to make some kind of a point, but I don't know what it is. And Liddy's wigging out like something's about to happen. I'm starting to feel weird. I don't know why, but I am." Aiden smiled. "Let's go take a look." "At what?" Litty asked. "The cranes. Have either of you ever seen anything like that up close?" Litty and Jerry shook their heads. They crossed Washington Street and stumbled through mounds of red clay dirt clods and bits of stump debris over 50 yards of cleared land, and then came to a stop at the base of the taller crane. "It's amazing that something so big could be supported by just an underground cement pad," Aiden said. Jerry laughed. "Kind of like you see a big old fat lady in stiletto heels. It's like a miracle of engineering." Aiden ran his hand over the door of the crane cab. "Do you know that the operator of this crane often can't see what he's doing up there? Imagine the skill it would take to operate this thing without doing damage or killing somebody. And with two of them working so close together at the same time. Incredible." Jerry pulled his phone out of his pocket, glanced at it, and then put it back. "I don't think we're supposed to be here." "Oh, we are," Litty muttered. Aiden tried the handle on the plexiglass door and found it was unlocked. He climbed up the steps and plopped down in the crane's operator seat. "Well, look at me," he said, grinning. "I wonder what would happen—" "Don't," Litty said, and then shut her mouth as if the words startled her. Aiden and Jerry turned to look at her. She just shook her head slightly. An empty seat sat next to Aiden, and he patted it lightly. "Come on in," he said to Jerry. "I don't bite." Jerry glanced back at Litty for a moment, rubbed his hands together, and then climbed inside. Aiden's eyes were wide with excitement. "Look at all those buttons and switches," he exclaimed. "How long do you suppose it'd take to learn to operate one of these things?" Jerry squirmed. "We could get arrested," he said. "Nah, we're fine. Hey, do you mind closing that door? There's something I'd like to talk to you about, and I want to keep it just between us." Jerry glanced out the window at Litty, looking for some sign of reassurance. She just stared at him wide-eyed. He looked back at Aiden, then up at the interior roof. Everything was spinning. "Look at Litty out there," Aiden said. "You know, the first time I met her, we were about a block away from here. Down at Hardy's. That was 15 years ago. Boy, time sure does fly." "Did you really come here to save her from something?" "Well, no, not really, but I did need her help, and I was working with someone else at the time, a pastor." "Really?" "He made a very bad decision, and I needed Litty to help me make things right again." "Did y'all manage to save him?" "Oh, yeah. He learned a very valuable lesson from our intervention. He still thinks about it to this day." "Do you still see him?" "I drop in on occasion, yes." "So tell me the deal, Aiden." "What? Do I need to get baptized, shake hands with Jesus? Where do we go from here?" "Where?" Aiden asked, flipping a switch on the dash and grabbing a lever. "We go up." The cab vibrated to life, then slowly started moving. Jerry grabbed both armrests on his chair and leaned forward. "Shit! What did you do?" "Relax," Aiden said. "You're safe with me, I promise." The cab glided up the vertical portion of the crane smoothly and quickly. "I'm going to puke," Jerry said. "We need to stop. Take us back down." "You think you have no talents," Aiden said. "You believe you're a nobody. I'm here to tell you that that's not true. And if you stick with me, I'll unlock every bit of potential you ever had, and I'll give you the tools to blow this drab existence to smithereens. I'll show you things you've never dreamed of and lead you to a life that surpasses that of anyone you have ever known. You could be a superstar, Jerry. Everything you ever wanted, everything you need to get there, it's all yours. But first, you have to learn to trust me." Jerry had kept his eyes shut most of the way up, but he opened them at Aiden's words. The cab slowly glided to a stop where the horizontal arm joined the vertical section. "Look around," Aiden said. "See the beauty of God's work." Jerry loosened up his grip on the chair and took in the scenery of downtown, the horizon and the setting sun. "I've seen your entire life," Aiden said softly. "I know you better than anyone, and no one knows better than I do how much you deserve a second chance." Jerry turned and was surprised to see a tear rolling down Aiden's cheek. He felt his face flush. "Why couldn't I have had something?" he managed to say, though the words stumbled out unevenly. He choked back tears. Aiden took him by the hand. "You can, Jerry. I have come here to tell you that if you listen to me and do as I say, you can have something." He wiped a hot tear from Jerry's eye. "With me, you can have everything you deserve." Jerry sat up straighter and steadied himself. "Tell me what I have to do. I'll do it." Aiden flicked a few more switches and operated a couple levers. The arm of the crane swung about 50 feet away from the skeletal frame of the new jail and stopped. He opened the door on his side of the cab and motioned to the narrow catwalk on top of the arm. "Out there?" Jerry asked. "Out there." Aiden stepped out onto the walkway and held the door open. Litty watched breathlessly from below as Jerry slowly made his way out of the cab and onto the arm with Aiden. She covered her mouth with her hands, not making a sound. Jerry kept his eyes on Aiden and stood frozen in one spot for what seemed to him like an eternity. Aiden's gaze was warm and comforting. He took Jerry by the hand and smiled. "I didn't come all this way to kill you," he said. "You do believe that, don't you?" "You didn't come all this way to..." Yeah, I believe that." "Why am I here?" "To help me. You're the answer to my prayers." Aiden took a few steps backward without looking, gently pulling Jerry further out onto the arm. "Watch out," Jerry said, and he jerked back a little. "I'm not going to fall, and neither are you." He took Jerry's other hand and took a couple larger steps backward. "I don't need to see this walkway with my eyes. I feel my presence in the world. I know exactly where I am and how far we can go, so don't worry." Jerry glanced down and wobbled. "Keep your eyes on me. Don't look away. Focus only on me, Jerry. Forget where we are." Jerry started to shake. "I can't." Aiden, still holding Jerry's hands, began stepping more quickly down the length of the arm. "Yes, you can. You already are. Our 24 hours aren't up yet. I saw where you were last night. I looked into your heart and felt your pain. You would have done it last night if nobody had stopped you, wouldn't you? You would have taken your own life. Now see where we are." Jerry took a deep breath. "Thank God for you," he said, exhaling hard. "You saved me. But what about all this really makes it a second chance for me? I'm still alive, but if I go home tonight, I'll be the same person I always was when I wake up in the morning. Nothing ever changes for me. You see, nothing ever gets any better." Aiden pulled him into an embrace. "It will get better if you choose to stick with me, I swear." "No," Jerry said, trying tentatively to pull away, but Aiden wouldn't let him. You're saying stuff like what they use on people threatening to jump off a ledge. Anything to get them back inside. I get it. I appreciate it, but tomorrow's just another day. As he talked, Aiden had held the embrace, rocking him slightly and turning him around on the walkway. Jerry kept talking, unaware that he was now less than 2 feet from the end of the crane's arm. I don't know what God has planned for me, and I appreciate everything you've done, but there's nothing new coming my way. You know that, and I know that. Aiden let go and pointed to Center City Tower. There's a penthouse, he said. You have the key in your pocket. You also have a brand new Humvee, and Jerry, those are nothing compared to all the other things I can give you if you follow me. If I follow you. What does that mean? Aiden narrowed his eyes and smiled. What do you think it means? God doesn't go around bribing people with worldly goods. Indeed he doesn't. Aiden brushed some lint off his jacket sleeve. But I do. Jerry's face blanched. His arms and hands fanned out and his knees buckled. Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. You're an angel. Yes, I am. I'm an angel who can do wonderful things here. The gentleman's club, the girl, the money, the life. They could all be yours in the blink of an eye. Look at me. You know what I am, Jerry. You've known all along. No way. I never would have. Who else would have saved you last night? Huh? Nobody. I was the only one. Jerry trembled violently. One of his feet slipped off the walk and he jerked it back quickly. Aiden reached into his jacket pocket and pulled out Jerry's gun. He studied it for a moment and then handed it to him. It's time to choose, he said. I saved you once. I won't do it again. Jerry looked down at the gun as if he'd never seen it before. He shook his head. You can't, he grunted, stopping the thought. No one else is going to save you, Jerry. Not God, not Jesus, not anybody. It's up to you now. Listen to me. Follow me. Make something of your life. You can do it. Jerry looked Aiden straight in the eye, opened his mouth, closed his lips around the gun's barrel and pulled the trigger. His body lurched backward, toppling end over end, 120 feet down, and broke itself over a pile of steel beams below. Litty screamed and started toward the body, tripping over rocks and construction debris as she scrambled toward him. She was nearly howling from terror and shock by the time she reached him. Aiden appeared by her side as she collapsed on the beam next to Jerry's mangled and fractured skull. He bent down, stared into Jerry's open eyes, and said, Litty, it's time for you to go now. Chapter 7. I don't remember much about my trip back to the car other than sobbing, running, darting into traffic, and horns honking. My brain had short-circuited, and it was all I could do to make it from the restaurant parking lot to my house in one piece. For the longest time, I felt like I couldn't get out, so I sat in the car in my own driveway, beating the steering wheel and screaming. I was angry at Aiden for pushing this guy to the breaking point, angry at Jerry for blowing his brains out, and angry at myself for standing there and watching the whole thing. You stupid idiot, I yelled at the windshield. Why did you do that? Why? The sound of my own voice took me back in time over a decade to a phone call from my grandmother telling me that my Uncle Dean was dead. He hung himself from a tree down by the creek behind his house. I'd spent 13 years trying to make sense of that. A new, stronger wave of pain hit me, and I slammed the steering wheel hard enough to hurt my hand. You asshole! How could you do that to everybody? How could you leave like that? I cried and yelled until I had nothing left in me. I cried until it hurt to blink because my eyes were so raw. Exhausted, shaky, and weak, I got out of the car and started toward the house. Something stopped me at the bottom step. I felt someone watching me, and I whirled around. A tall figure was standing in the edge of my yard in front of the trees. I could see it was a man, but I couldn't see his face. A slight breeze blew. Litty, I heard a soft voice say. Is that you? Who are you? I couldn't move. Come closer. I stepped off the sidewalk and into the grass. Why are you... It's me, Litty. My heart leapt in my throat, and I let out a high-pitched giggle before I could stop myself. I know. I ran across the yard and stopped abruptly before this figure, this familiar man in the plaid flannel jacket and baseball cap. There were no words at first. He looked at me, and I looked at him. With Aiden in town, I knew anything was possible. We both broke out in big grins at the same time. Can I touch you? Can I give you a hug? He laughed. Of course you can. He opened his arms wide. I fell into his embrace, breathed in the scent I'd missed for so long. Uncle Dean, you're here. You're here. I'm here, honey. I'm really here. I stepped back and looked him up and down, taking it all in. How can you be here? He lifted up his hat and scratched his head. I'm really not sure. I've never heard of anybody else ever doing anything like this. I just got word that some arrangements had been made, and I was to come see you at a certain place at a certain time. Next thing I know, poof, here I am. Somebody must think a whole lot of you to set this up. I got the feeling that whoever did it went to a lot of trouble to make it happen. So you ought to feel pretty special right about now. I smiled and shook my head. I think I know who it was. How are you? I'm all right. Really? Really, Litty. Where'd you come here from? I can't talk. I'm afraid I can't talk about that, but I promise you I'm all right. You don't have to worry. How about you? Gosh, you've grown up a lot since the last time I saw you. I'm okay, Uncle Dean. I do freelance writing for some different folks, and I even have my own blog called The Daily Howl. It's for a what? A blog. What the heck is a blog? It's just something on the internet. Never mind. I write stuff for a living, and I love it. I'm glad to hear that. Not everybody can do that. You're lucky. I suddenly felt dizzy. You want to come inside? I'm afraid I can't. I have to go back soon. He grabbed my shoulders and gave them a playful shake. I don't want you crying or worrying about me anymore. You hear me? I'm not proud of what I did, but I can't go back and change it. So now we just have to accept it and move on. I rubbed my face. How could I possibly be sleepy now? He held me close and stroked my hair. I love you, Litty. Tell Mom and Dad that I'm okay. They may not believe you, but tell them anyway. Tell them I said it's okay to let go and enjoy life. You too. One thing I've learned from all this is that you only get one shot at it. Don't blow it. And don't waste any more of it crying or being sad. Okay? I'll try, I said. Uncle Dean, what's it like? What's what like? I looked up at his face. Death, the afterlife, whatever it is, wherever you came here from. He looked away for a moment and then back at me with a strange, almost sad smile. He held me closer. It's like nothing you've ever imagined, he whispered. I closed my eyes. How do you mean? I asked, but I got no response. When I opened my eyes, he was gone. My arms were empty. I stood there for quite a while, hoping somehow he'd come back if I just waited long enough, but nothing happened. It was dark by the time I finally went inside. I was drained, exhausted, but I felt good, happy. I went upstairs and collapsed in bed and almost instantly fell asleep. Sometime later, a strange light fell across my face. I sat up in bed, confused and unsure where I was. My window was gone, and in its place was a set of glass doors covered by gauzy white curtains. The doors were open enough to let in a little breeze, and I heard music. I wasn't tired anymore. Kiss me out of the bearded barley, nightly beside the green, green grass. I got up from the bed and heard a rustling sound. What am I wearing? I said to no one. Swing, swing, swing the spinning step. You wear those shoes and I will wear that dress. I moved toward the doors and that beautiful music, and I realized I was no longer wearing a t-shirt and jeans. I had on a white flowing dress and heels. Oh, kiss me beneath the milky twilight. Lead me out on the moonlit floor. I pushed the curtains aside. My backyard was bathed in silvery light with a sparkling glass staircase leading down to a clear floor decorated with millions of glowing lights. I lifted my dress and started slowly down. Aiden appeared on the floor. He turned, looked up at me, and smiled. I saw him mouth one word, beautiful. Lift your open hand, strike up the band, and make fireflies dance, silver moons sparkling. So kiss me. I moved slowly down the steps, and he took my hand. Aiden, I want to thank you. Shh. He put his finger on my lips. You don't need to thank me for anything. I apologize for what you had to see tonight. I know you think I never make mistakes, but I didn't realize how that would affect you. I truly am sorry for that and for everything you went through in Dalton Fisher. I thought maybe if I could let you talk to your uncle again and, well, he gestured around, show you all this, maybe you could forgive me. I swallowed hard. Was it really him? He brought my hand up to his lips and kissed it. It really was. I looked around. This is so beautiful. It's like we're hovering over the ground on stars. You look like a princess. He held my hand up high and slowly twirled me around. You downplay it a lot, but you're really a very beautiful woman. Oh, no. He laughed. Yes, you are. The music came back to the forefront and he pulled me close. What happened to Jerry? He shook his head. Don't worry about that now. This night is just about you. Is he? Litty, dance with me. Oh, kiss me beneath the milky twilight. Lead me out on the moonlit floor. Lift your open hand. Strike up the band and make the fireflies dance. Silver moons sparkling. So kiss me. It didn't matter that I couldn't dance. Aiden and I seemed to glide across the floor in perfect rhythm, in perfect step. I felt like an angel myself, with my cheek pressed to his as we turned and moved together. I can't describe to you what it was really like. There really are no words for how breathtaking and magical that night was. Like Uncle Dean said about the afterlife, it was like nothing I'd ever imagined. Whatever Aiden is, whatever he's done, none of it mattered out there. And even after he led me back upstairs and laid me gently down to sleep, it still didn't matter. I loved him, then and now, in a way that nobody could ever touch. Maybe he appeals to my at an arm's length preference for relationships, but I knew as I drifted off to sleep that night that there was nothing for me to forgive. Chapter 8. The sun woke me up bright and early the next morning, streaming in through my window and across my bed. I felt like I'd just fallen asleep, and I remembered everything like a vivid dream. I sat up and looked at the windows. He came in and laid me down, I said to myself, and I stood right over there. I sound like Ebenezer Scrooge. God, what a night. I threw on a robe and then stumbled downstairs and out the front door to get the paper. The neighbor's cat had left me a gift of half of a mouse in the driveway, and I'd just hopped over it when I heard something rolling down the street. I reflexively looked up to see what it was. Holy! I gasped as I caught my first glimpse of that incredible machine. It glided down the hill and stopped just short of my driveway. The windows were tinted, hiding whoever was inside. The car suddenly turned silently and sprinted into my driveway. It stopped with a quick squeal, missing the back bumper of my car by inches. I moved in closer, unable to breathe. Oh my God, the driver's side door swung open. A Tesla Roadster? Hell yeah, baby. The driver stepped out grinning. It's the shit, ain't it? I stared at the man. I mean, you know me, he said, closing the door. You just don't recognize me is all. Oh no, I'd remember you, I said too quickly. You'd think so. I mean, look at me. He turned around gracefully in a full circle. Nobody could forget something like this, he gestured to himself. Maybe so, but I honestly don't know you. I bet I don't look like the kind of man who'd have to pay women for a little bit of attention now, huh? I moved in closer and I studied his face. No way. No frickin' way. Jerry? He smiled and nodded. No, you're dead. I saw it. Not quite. He lifted his shirt to show off his rippling abs. That's a damn work of art right there. He balled up his fist and hit his stomach. Hard as a rock, too. Not an ounce of fat in sight. I couldn't stop staring at him. What happened to you? Jerry waved the question away. I think we both know. Are you taller now? I asked. You look... I don't know. Something else is different. Beside the obvious stuff, I mean. Oh, there's more, he said with a weird grin. We won't get into all that, though. I took a deep breath and let out a sigh, feeling the tension. So where's the Humvee? How come you're driving this? Jerry shrugged. Aiden gave it to me last night. I just figured I'd run it around town today. He checked his watch. Ooh, I gotta go. Time to get all pretty woman at Macy's here before long. Do what now? Never mind. Just, you ever wonder what it'd be like to go throw it in somebody's face when you come up? Like they never even knew you were alive before, but now they can't help but see you? I'm about to go enjoy a little bit of that. I still don't get it. He glanced back at the roadster and then turned to me with a grin. That car right there? She's never seen anything like it, I can promise you that. Who? I should have known, but it was early and my brain was fogged up. Amber, he said. The girl in the picture? Aiden's got the whole thing set up. I see you around. I still don't get the pretty woman thing, though. You know where the sales girls snubbed her in her slut clothes and later they were falling all over themselves to get at her when she was dressed up all fancy? I'd invite you to come with me to see the whole thing, but you don't look too good first thing in the morning, and you probably ruin it. He got in the car and ran his window down. So where's Aiden now? I asked. Getting ready to come see you, he said. Then he slid on his sunglasses, backed out of my driveway, and sped off down the street. I stood there in silence, watching the car drive away, feeling a bit perturbed and out of sorts. Getting ready to come see me, I said. What could he... I lost my breath at the throom of the engine, the sound of something coming my way. It rumbled deep down in me, and then it came into view. I leaned against the side of my car and felt faint. The branches overhead reflected off the mirror finish of the Corvette's black hood as it pulled into the driveway. I could plainly see the words on the side. It's a pace car, I said breathlessly, moving toward it with my hands stretched out. The windows were tinted, but it didn't matter. I knew who was in there, and I couldn't help but let out a little laugh. Aiden turned the motor off, opened the door, and stepped out. He gazed at me. You thought I forgot, didn't you? It was so long ago. Time doesn't matter to me. You know that. He stepped toward me and drew me into an embrace. You said you'd always wanted one, right? I pulled back suddenly. Aiden, I can't take this car. Oh, no, I know that. But what's the harm in me having one while I'm here? I thought if nothing else, it'd help me convince you to come have breakfast with me this morning. Now? I glanced at my clothes. I'm not dressed. He stood there looking at me, not responding, and suddenly the events of the night before all came back to me. Oh, Aiden, I said as I jumped into his arms. Was it real? Did I dream all that? He stiffened for a moment, and then he relaxed and held me tight. It was real, Litty. Every moment of it. You deserved it. He kissed my ear and squeezed me. It's something I should have done for you sooner. I'm sorry I waited so long. You make it sound like I had no choice in the matter, all that stuff that happened. That's not true. I forgave you for a lot of that a long time ago. You really don't owe me anything, Aiden. I sure do appreciate what you did, though. All of it. I thought about Uncle Dean and smiled again. Aiden stroked my hair. I'd do it every night if I could. Thank you. He stepped back and took a breath. Why don't you go get dressed and come have breakfast with me? Come on in. We walked toward the front door. I've always wondered what you'd think of my house. He stepped inside and slowly looked around. It's very sparse. Well, not sparse. Utilitarian. Minimalistic. Practical. He checked my reaction. Eclectic? Help me out here. Why do you look so uncomfortable? Sheesh, it's just a house. Have a seat and I'll go upstairs and change. I raced up the steps and threw on some jeans and a t-shirt. Aiden was thumbing through a legal pad of notes I'd written when I came back down. What's this? Just some ideas I came up with for articles I'd like to write for the vegan folks. He chuckled. Maybe you can come up with more while you gnaw on a sausage biscuit. Yeah, with a slab of ham. God, I'm such a hypocrite. He tossed the notepad down on the sofa. Let's go. We ended up at the Smith Street Diner, though I'm not sure why. All I remember is sinking down in the leather bucket seat of Aiden's car and never wanting to get out again. The car was so low to the ground, so fast. I fell in love with it instantly and was a bit disappointed when we came to a stop at the restaurant. Maybe I said I wanted to go there. I don't know. Aiden took the keys out of the ignition, started to get out, and then looked over at me. Are you okay? He asked. I secretly rubbed the seat with my fingers. Like butter, I thought. Yeah, I'm fine. Why? What's wrong? You're awfully quiet on the way here. It just seems like you've got something on your mind. Can you blame me with everything that's happened in the past 24 hours? Good Lord. I huffed. I've got about 1,000,000 questions, and I don't even know if it's appropriate to ask any of them. You've interviewed me before, he said. Remember? Yeah, and I was nervous then, too. You're nervous? Now? Hell yes. Scared, too. A little bit. He rested his hand on my leg. I felt tingly all over. You have no reason to be scared. No reason to be nervous. Everything's okay, Litty. If you ask me a question I can't answer, I'll let you know. What about, let's go on in and see if we can get a table. He grabbed my hand and gave it a squeeze. We can clear up a few things, I hope. We took a small table by a window. I could see the Corvette from where I was sitting, and Aiden caught me gazing at it. She's a beauty, huh? I looked over at him. What? The car. You have good taste. At least I didn't say I liked Fieros. I don't think even you could keep one of those on the road for long. He laughed and looked down at the menu. So what's the deal with you and cars? I asked. What do you mean? You have this thing about vehicles. It's like a theme or something. I don't understand. Well, let's see. It started with Pastor Steele and that Harley. Actually, before that, you had that Carmen Ghia. And then you get Jerry a Humvee and a Roadster. Everybody gets something cool to ride around in or on. Aiden shrugged. We all need transportation. Am I wrong about this? Am I reading too much into it? No, not really. Cars are easy. They make a great impression, have the right sort of impact. It makes it easier for me to sell ideas to people. Show them something extraordinary, something they probably would never be able to get for themselves, and it gives them an idea of all the other possibilities out there just waiting for them if they stick with me. Not to get all pop psychological or anything, but for certain types of people, a great deal of their identity and self-worth is wrapped up in what they drive. The invention of the automobile helped us out more than almost everything else in the past 2 centuries combined. Helped out who? He smiled slightly and then turned and looked out the window, his eyes fixed on the car. You know, angels like me. The bad guys. Oh, right. It's much more impressive to whip up a Tesla Roadster than, say, a sturdy pack mule. I giggled nervously. I bet so. The waitress came to take our orders, and I realized I hadn't even looked at the menu. I'm not ready, I said, frantically scanning the breakfast platters and feeling like a kid who didn't do her homework. I'll just have the first, that there. I pointed at something without really looking at it. I had no appetite, so I didn't care anyway. Aiden ordered toast and coffee. The waitress wrote some stuff down, smiled, and left. I had a thought and slapped at my pants pockets. I left my money at home, I said. Aiden laughed. Litty, please. You know money's no problem. I looked him in the eye. Tell me about last night. Yesterday evening. I want to know what happened. What happened when? When I left. What did you do to Jerry? You saw what I did. Pretty cool, huh? No, I mean, he was... After he fell, he looked... I shuddered. God, the blood. He was dead, Aiden. I looked around and whispered, his head was split in half. How'd you... Put Humpty Dumpty back together again, he said. That was easy. But how? He died, Aiden. No, he didn't. He regretted his decision the split second after he pulled that trigger. That's when I got him. You wouldn't believe how many deals I've made in that one moment. They do the deed, so to speak, and then they realize what a terrible thing they've done and that there's no turning back from it. They take any help they can get in that moment, and I am right there to offer it. A whole world opens up to them, and they're terrified by what they see. They're drowning, and I throw them a line. More often than you'd want to know, they take it. Was that what was happening when you were standing down there staring at him? You mean just before you ran off? Yeah. It was a done deal by that point. I got him on the way down from the tower crane. But that was like, what, 2 or 3 seconds? He sat back in his chair and clapped his hands behind his head. What can I say? I'm good at what I do. So then what? Then we had a few formalities to work out. I gave him the makeover he wanted, and we went out on the town for the night. Well, first he spent about an hour admiring himself in the mirror. I'm afraid I've created a monster. A vain, narcissistic, handsome monster. Well, he's your monster to deal with now. Have fun with that. I'd have more fun if you were there with me. Me? With you? No way. Forget that. But think about it. What an opportunity this is. How often in your life do you get a chance to do stuff like this? I rolled my eyes. Well, there was this one time when some angel dragged me off to Indiana to be in a cult and hang out with a bunch of crazy people being led by a pedophile with a God complex. Yeah, that was loads of fun. Good God, Aiden, try again. But this wouldn't be anything like that. Here we have a very simple guy whose only goals at this point are to date a pretty girl and run a strip joint. No drama, no illegal activity, just a harmless jerk having a good time. You might enjoy it. The waitress refilled my water glass. I watched her walk away. But what about that woman? Will she know the truth about all this? Who, the waitress? I huffed. No, you know who I mean. Amber. Are you going to tell her the truth about Jerry? He looked away. No, I won't. See, how's that fair? What did she ever do to anybody? You'll get her involved and probably end up screwed up from this experience just like I was. You have to understand why I'd be concerned about that. She has the option of walking away just like anybody else meeting somebody for the first time. And judging by Jerry's behavior when he saw himself last night, that may very well be exactly what happened. Aiden's eyes twinkled. He said, I want Matthew McConaughey's body. He got it, too. Abs and all. Dang, I hate I didn't get to see that. You can. Trust me, this guy's going to spend a lot of time with his shirt off. Anytime you... No, wait. I still mean it when I say that this is not fair to Amber. She has no idea what she's about to get into. Possibly get into. I feel like she ought to be warned. Aiden put his hand up. Nope, absolutely not. That's not going to happen. Why not? You're all about people making informed decisions. Free will and all that. Informed decisions? Where on earth did you get that idea? You said before. Didn't you say you don't let people make these decisions without knowing what they're getting into ahead of time? He raised an eyebrow at me. I believe I told you once the devil's in the details. They know all I decide they need to know. And anyway, I made the deal with Jerry, not Amber. I don't owe Amber anything. The waitress brought me some toast, but nothing else. I glanced at it for a second. Doesn't that bother you, though? I mean, I don't know what kind of rules you have or what you're required to do, but it seems like you'd do it anyway just because it's the right thing to do. It's the decent thing to do. You're a nice person, Aiden. Well, you're nice. Why wouldn't you care? We probably shouldn't get into all that, Litty. Why not? Because there are things about the type of work that I do that won't make any sense to you. Not right now, anyway. This is supposed to be fun, lighthearted. What's more fun than strippers and free booze? I'm not a frat boy, you know. You gotta bribe me with more than that. Are you saying it's possible you might consider coming along for the ride? I didn't say that. Our food finally came out. I dipped a piece of toast in the grits and took a bite. At the very least, I want a chance to talk to this Amber person first. Now you can't, I know Aiden, I can't tell her anything. I won't. And I'd have to be there. Uh-huh. What are you planning to say to her? Just, we don't know that she'll even want to hang out with Jerry. He could come across as an ass and totally strike out. It could all be a moot point. It's interesting that you're concerned about Amber, but not anybody else he might come into contact with. It's not a contagious disease, you know. Making a deal with the devil isn't catchy. Can I please just meet her? What's the big deal? Aiden shrugged. It's fine with me. We'll go whenever you want. Except now, that is. Jerry wanted to go see her a little later on this morning. We had a class on charm and manners last night. I hope he remembers what we went over. So he really will be like Julia Roberts in that dress shop. Aiden sipped his coffee. Like who? Jerry was telling me he was going to be like Pretty Woman. He frowned. When did you two have that conversation? This morning in front of my house. He came by right before you got there. Oh. He looked away, his face still tense. Right. Never mind. He said he was going to go see her this morning. Are you okay? Aiden looked back at me. I'm okay. Are you sure you and Jerry had that conversation this morning? Yeah, he basically told me I looked like crap first thing in the morning, which I didn't appreciate. Didn't you know he was coming to see me? You showed up like 2 seconds after he left. I did know, but I didn't hear. Aiden, you have a weird look on your face. He shook himself a little. No big deal. He told you where he was going, and that's fine. Are you going to eat your breakfast? I looked down at my plate. Where'd he have to go to see Amber? Macy's at the mall. Why? I was thinking we'd eat our breakfast and then go over there. I'd like to see that first interaction. He's not going right over there. They don't even open for another hour or so. Where was he in a hurry to go then? He gave me the impression that he was heading straight there from my house. Aiden leaned in and studied my eyes hard. So that was this morning? Right before I got to your house? Well, yeah. How else would I have known Jerry was still alive and that you'd given him that makeover in that awesome car? Think about it. I didn't know any of that when you last saw me. You knew that I'd seen him. Why are you being so weird about it? He gestured to my food. I think you'd better eat. We have places to go. Chapter 9. Jerry leaned against the steering wheel of the roadster and stared out at the entrance to the gym. He chose golds for the muscular man in the emblem, the man he'd always wanted to be. He hadn't been inside a gym since high school, and his heart beat fast as he imagined pushing the front door open and going inside. What a rush, he said to himself. And just before he reached to open the door, he was startled by a sharp knock on the window. He grunted at the surprise and looked up. A tall, blond man motioned for Jerry to roll the window down, which he did. "Good morning," the man said, his white teeth gleaming. "Is this your first time?" Jerry paused, taking the scene in, and then chuckled. He opened the car door and stepped out. "Look at me," he gestured to himself. "What do you think? You don't get a body like this from sitting around on your ass." "Perhaps not, but you didn't get it from a lot of exercise either, did you?" "Who are you to—" "There are other ways to do things," the man said. "You know as well as I do, and once the high wears off and you come to terms with what you've done to yourself, you are in for one hell of a wake-up call." Jerry stepped back, his confident posture deflated. Nobody else knows, he said, his voice rising. Nobody but that Litty chick, and she... Do you know a Litty Roberts? The man smiled and shook his head. Litty Roberts? No, I don't think so. Why do you ask? Actually, let's stop right there. I haven't introduced myself, and I apologize for that. He extended his hand. My name's Gabriel. Jerry shook his hand. Gabriel... Let's not worry about a last name right now. And you're Jerry, right? That's right. I don't know you. Well, you do now, so you're all caught up. Not really. How'd you know what I did? He bent down and glanced at himself in his side view mirror. Is it that obvious or something? I told him to make it look natural. Oh, it does look natural. Trust me, Amber will be impressed. She won't be able to tell. Let's go on in. Oh, here's your membership card, by the way. He handed Jerry a laminated card. Can you tell me who you are and what all this is? It sounds like... Don't worry about that right now. Let's go inside. Are you working with Aiden? He told me his last name was Gervais. Gabriel smiled. I know Aiden. We're not working together. The two stood facing each other for several tense moments in silence. Jerry felt a desire to run away, but remained anchored in one spot, staring and not speaking. Suddenly, the moment was broken by Gabriel clapping Jerry hard on the shoulder. Let's go see how you look in your gym clothes. They walked through the parking lot together, and Gabriel held the front door open for Jerry. We'll go on back to the dressing room. Look for locker number 23. That's yours. It doesn't have a lock on it, but it doesn't need one. Nobody's going to mess with your stuff. Your gym bag and everything you need is in there. Jerry went off to the dressing room alone. His past made him want to run off and change in a bathroom stall the way he did in PE class as a kid, but a passing glance at himself in the mirror reminded him that would no longer be necessary. At the sight of himself, in a fit of spontaneous excitement, he stripped down naked right in the middle of the room. What amazed him was the fact that no one looked over at him. No one laughed. It was glorious. He strutted across the room, leaving his clothes behind in a heap, to check out the contents of his locker. He had nice clothes, nice shoes, a nice bag, and a new iPod. He carried the clothes and shoes back over to the mirror so he could watch as he dressed himself. His muscles rippled and his tan was perfect, golden brown. He could ruffle his hair as much as he wanted, but every strand fell back into place perfectly when he stopped. He giggled and flexed in the mirror a few more times before grabbing a towel and going on out. Gabriel was sitting on a weight bench waiting for him. Come try this, he said. He had 250 pounds on the bar. Jerry stopped. No way. That's like more than I weigh. Gabriel got up off the bench and patted it. Come try it. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. Okay, I guess. Jerry laid back on the bench and wrapped his hands around the bar. He glanced at Gabriel. You going to spot me? Gabriel shook his head. There's no need. Humor me. Gabriel shrugged and put his hands on the bar. Okay, go for it. For a moment, Jerry anticipated the force and weight of the bar, but once he pushed up, he gasped at how easily he could maneuver the weights. Up, down, up, down. He laughed out loud. Shit, this is easy. Gabriel stood there, his hands on his hips. I told you. Jerry went around to every machine, setting the weight to the max and marveling at how remarkably easy it was to move it. They stood by the juice bar while Jerry drank a protein shake. This is exciting, huh? Gabriel asked. I've never had anything like this. You have no idea how awesome it is to be able to just, I don't know, go to the gym and work out and not feel like some fat slob that everybody's staring at. I feel like I'd have chicks all over me right now if there were any here. Only a few men were at the gym that morning. They'd be checking me out in the mirror if nothing else. I mean, look at this. He flexed a bicep. Look! It really is nice. Aiden always does good work. You've seen what he can do? I have. What is up with you? Are you human? It is so messed up that I can ask a total stranger something like that without feeling like a crazy person. Gabriel smiled at him, his eyes twinkling. I totally understand what you're saying, and no, I'm not human. I'm an angel like Aiden. Well, not exactly like him. I'm the one that should have gotten to you first. So, okay, I take it you know the deal, what went on last night. I saw the whole thing. Well, why didn't you stop it then? You saw it? I can't. Hold on a minute, Gabriel said. It's not my responsibility to save you. I take it you're one of the bad guys then. Me? Gabriel laughed. Good heavens, no. I don't associate with those types. I do occasionally admire their handiwork, but no, I stay away from them. He motioned to the door. Speaking of which, it's about time for us to go. Go where? You've got a pretty young lady to meet, and I need to make myself scarce. You're leaving me? Where are you going? Gabriel glanced out into the parking lot through the glass double doors. Listen, he said, placing his hand on Jerry's arm. I'll find you again, and we'll discuss a few things. In the meantime, I'd like you to keep this to yourself. Keep it from Aiden, you mean? Aiden, sure, but not just from him. He began to step away from Jerry. I'll tell you this much. There's still hope for you. You're going to need help, and I can give it to you, but you're going to have to keep it a secret. If you can't do that, you're on your own. Jerry looked out into the parking lot and saw Aiden and Litty walking toward the door. They don't, he started to say, but when he turned back to Gabriel, he had vanished. Chapter 10. This place smells, I huffed as we walked through the freshly paved parking lot to the gym. New asphalt just stinks. It smells like hot summer or something. We won't be here long, Aiden said, taking my hand. Something's just odd right now, and I want to figure out what it is. Huh? So what's this place got to do with anything? I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out. He held open the door and let me in ahead of himself. I muttered something about the place making me feel like a slacker, but he was too focused on Jerry at the juice bar to respond. What's up? Newly buffed up Jerry said when he saw us. Why are you here, Aiden? I'm trying to figure that out about you, Jerry. There's hardly any need for it anymore. Just seeing what it feel like, to be able to walk in here like a normal person. Or like this. It's awesome, I gotta say. That's what you came here for? Is that all? Jerry stared at him like he was confused. Uh-huh. That's pretty much it, man. You and your friend came all the way out here just to ask me that? Aiden fidgeted with a notepad in his suit jacket pocket. Would you like me to go with you to Macy's? For moral support? Jerry hitched up the gym bag on his shoulder. I think I got it. Don't be too cocky now. Don't worry, Aiden. I don't need your help. I'm just trying to... I get it. It's fine. I don't need anything. Jerry took off out the front door without another word, and Aiden stood there looking after him. Well, that was something, he huffed. What do you mean? I asked. Something's odd. It's just strange. He practically begged me earlier this morning to meet him at Macy's so we could walk in together. Now he acts like he can't get away from me fast enough. And the gym thing... I don't get that either, I said. I guess I get it in theory. Yeah, he's a fat, dumpy loser guy who probably got picked on in gym class as a kid. And if he just comes here the one time, okay, I get it. But if he makes a habit of it, that'd be fishy. I checked his reaction. Truth is, I honestly had no idea why he thought something was weird. I was just trying to carry my weight in a conversation I didn't understand at all. Aiden touched my sleeve. Come on, he said. We'll give him some support whether he wants it or not. We're going to see Amber? He nodded. Do I get to talk to her? You can, as long as you don't tell her who we are or why we're there. Can I run up and grab her and say, be afraid, be very afraid? Ha! Hardly. Let's go. We traveled out to the Macy's at the mall. Look, there he is, Aiden said. We saw Jerry standing alone outside the front doors, nervously fumbling with his phone and looking around like he was waiting for somebody. It's almost time, Aiden said. What? Time for what? My stomach knotted up a little. Time for the store to open, silly. Look, they're unlocking the doors now. Why are you so nervous all of a sudden? I'm not that nervous. He looked at me quizzically. I don't know why, but for some reason this reminds me of that time we had to go see Pastor Faust in prison. That was so messed up. I swear I about threw up in the parking lot when we came out. What did I tell you? This won't be anything like that. No fuss, no drama, no bad guys. Just some strippers and a lot of fun to be had by everybody. Wait till you see what I've set up on the roof of Jerry's building. He had this idea about a pool up there, so stop. I can't do this right now. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to push you. I sighed. It's okay. Can we go in now? Aiden looked toward the department store doors. Just give him another minute. Yeah, all right. Now we can head that way. How do you know that? What'd you see just now? I see everything. He looked at me funny with a gleam in his eye. I'm everywhere all at once. Nobody can hide from me. Okay, I know that. Sheesh. Shall we? Let's go. We walked most of the way through the parking lot in silence. Just before we reached the building, he grabbed my hand. Let me do the talking. But you said I could... I know, but at first, just hang back and let me manage things. Okay? Okay, but what am I supposed to do? Just stand there like some dummy? It's a department store, Litty. Just browse around. I like thrift stores. These places are too high priced. We went inside. Look, Aiden whispered, over there. So help me God. Jerry had stripped down naked from the waist up right in the middle of the men's department and was trying his best to pull a little bitty compression shirt down over his head. His own shirt was thrown over the rack and he was wriggling around like a maniac trying to pull that tiny shirt down over his body. Aiden silently slipped over to Jerry and gave him a subtle helping hand. They exchanged words, but I couldn't make them out from where I was standing. No salespeople were anywhere in sight. I kept an eye on them while pretending to check out a couple of ties. Jerry finally got the little shirt on, and the two of them made their way out of the men's section, then headed toward one of the makeup counters in the center of the store on the main floor. I put the ties down neatly and stepped lightly across the floor, heading in their direction. Aiden caught my eye and winked. I moved over closer to him. What are y'all doing? Jerry whispered harshly. I told you I don't need anything. You'd still be over there tangled up in that shirt if I hadn't come, Aiden whispered back. Let's all stop, I rasped. Just, where are we going? Jerry stopped short. Right there. There she is. I looked up and gasped. Oh my God. Jerry's eyebrows raised. Right? She's awesome. Awesome doesn't even begin to describe it. Aiden laughed. Keep your voices down. She can hear you. I found myself standing beside Jerry, unable to move. I can't talk to her, I said. Why not? Aiden asked, but he wasn't just looking at me. He was looking at Jerry, too. She's just a person like you. Don't be afraid. You've come all this way. Don't give up now. Jerry grabbed my arm. You go up there with me, Litty. I can't go up to a makeup counter by myself like some pervert. Just buy something so I have a reason to be here. No way. Here, he tucked a big wad of money in my pocket. Pick out something of whatever she's selling. We began moving toward her counter. She may have seen us, but she continued working on arranging some blushes and makeup brushes on her countertop. She didn't look up. No other customers were around, probably because it was still too early and the store hadn't been open very long. Ask her for something, Jerry said just before we approached her. What do I ask for? An image of a half-naked white woman flashed through my mind. I heard someone say in a snooty voice, Lancôme, Paris, in my mind. I'd always wondered what it'd be like to use that sort of stuff. Yet the thought of actually picking any of it out and buying it intimidated the hell out of me. I pulled the bundle of money out of my pocket and glanced at it. God, all hundreds. And walked a little straighter. Maybe I wasn't dressed very nice, but damn if I didn't have a ton of cash at my disposal. We stopped directly in front of her. Excuse me, I said. Hi there. She looked up at me, and the porcelain perfection of her skin made me weak in the knees. The sight of her made Jerry let out a quiet, high-pitched laugh. I was wondering if you could recommend a good moisturizer for me? Certainly. She gingerly moved some things aside. I was about to say something to her about my pores when Jerry suddenly thrust his hand out to her. My name's Jerry. It's really nice to meet you. And your name? Amber. She shook his hand delicately. I'd like to suggest something from the Bienfait collection for your girlfriend. Jerry snorted. I shot him a look. Her? No, we're not together. I mean, like, not in a relationship. She used to live near me. Or, yeah. Oh, okay. Amber smiled. I forgot what I was about to say. Now let's take a look here. She produced a frightfully large, lighted mirror from behind the counter. It was magnified about a zillion times. She gestured to the mirror and flicked the lights on. If you would. I bent down slightly and was horrified to see my face so close up. Oh God, the pores, the lines, the crow's feet. I peered up at her in her flawless face. I'd love to look like you, I said without thinking. Well, yeah, Jerry said. If you don't mind my saying it, you're awesome. I mean, like, perfect. Amber blushed. No, not really. That's just a good skincare regimen. I could do the same for your friend here. She's not my friend. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not, I said. Then what'd you bring me here for? My name's Litty. I stuck out my hand because, dang it, I wanted a chance to touch her too. Hey, I had to, Jerry said as Amber took my hand and shook it with a smile. It must suck having to depend on others to get you around. Amber gave us a quizzical look, and I knew Jerry was going to make the whole thing weird if he didn't shut up. I glanced back, and Aiden was admiring himself in a mirror, trying on a navy blue pea coat. He always looked so spiffy. It's my pores, I said as I turned back to Amber. I'd like to make them look smaller. I really hate my pores. I could certainly help you with that, she said, and she winked at me. I winked back, realizing instantly how stupid that must have looked. 30 minutes and $397.85 later, I left with a full makeover and a fancy bag of stuff in tiny glass bottles that I had no idea how to use. The closest I'd ever come to having anything even remotely resembling a skincare regimen was when I bought some oil of Olay that was on sale and I had a coupon for it. I got the intimidating beauty products and Jerry got the phone number he was after. You'd think I'd get something more for having to endure the humiliation of realizing my face looked like the surface of the moon, but life's not always fair, I guess. Aiden met us at the escalators. Wow, he said when he saw me. Look at you. You look like a movie star. How about a new outfit to go with that beautiful face? No thanks, really. You've spent enough already. He didn't spend anything, Jerry said, pulling another wad of cash out of his pocket. That was me. Yeah, you threw Aiden. That's where it ultimately came from. He didn't give me this, though. He waved Amber's phone number in my face. Wouldn't it be nice to have an awesome club to show off to her, Aiden said. That'd be an impressive first date. My gentleman's club? Mm-hmm. You can't take a girl like that to a gentleman's club. Strip joint, I muttered. Huh? Strip joint, strip joint. It sounds so clunky when you call it a damn gentleman's club. You're a bitter, lonely person, Jerry said. You know that. You absolutely hate everything. It's depressing. If you had the guts to talk to a girl by yourself, I wouldn't even be here. Aiden knew you'd chicken out unless we came. Aiden cleared his throat and moved in closer to me. It's okay. Everything's fine. And Litty? You have to admit that you were interested in meeting her too. You, huh? Jerry looked at me. Litty said she wanted to see her in person, Aiden said. She saw your picture of her and wanted to meet her. Jerry turned to face me. What interest could you possibly have in Amber? None, Aiden said. I just said I wanted to meet her, I said. God, it's no big deal. From what Aiden started to say a minute ago, I'm sure you'll have your shiny new strip joint to show off by the time y'all go out, and she'll fall in love with you somehow, and you'll live happily ever after. Let's just get back to talking about that, okay? Not unless I don't plan on asking her out anytime soon. I saw the picture of that place. It'd take at least 6 months to fix up that dump. I sighed. Remember who you're dealing with here. If your makeover doesn't prove that Aiden's capable of some pretty awesome things, then nothing will. Aiden, what are we doing here? What's the timeline? Like, what are we doing today? I want to do some shopping. You'll have plenty of time, Aiden said, tugging the compression shirt down Jerry's torso a bit. All the time in the world. You go enjoy yourself. He looked at me. Litty and I can keep ourselves occupied. That is, unless you want company while you shop. No, man, y'all go ahead. He wants to go strut around in the mall and get hit on by the granny mall walkers, I whispered to Aiden. Hey, I heard that, Jerry said. You'd better be grateful for all that makeup you've got on. I'm just saying. Be glad Amber's so good at fixing people up. Aiden took my arm. Have fun, Jerry, he said, his voice a bit less pleasant than before. Jerry was headed off into the mall when we left him. I eyed a few necklaces as Aiden and I began to walk. How is it that you don't even think to ask if I have other plans or other things to do, I asked. So, we're just going to spend all day together now. What's up with that? Good point. What would I be taking you away from if we spent the day together? Well, laundry, groceries, stuff like that. And no, I won't let you magically take care of them for me either. It's not magic, he said. I'd love to be able to do that for you just so you wouldn't have to for once. Even if we weren't going to spend the day together, I'd like to do it. You're like the perfect boyfriend, you know that? I mean, if you were human. He laughed. It's only what you deserve. I'm just answering your question about what I need to get done. I've got some new material from the pesticide company coming in that I need to get started on tomorrow. It'd be nice to get this stuff done now so I don't have to worry about it later. Fair enough. He reached in his pocket and pulled out his keys to the Corvette. Let's go get started. The two of us? He tossed me the keys. Yep. Oh no, I can't drive that thing. I tried to hand the keys back, but he refused to take them. Seriously, what if I wreck it? Even if you do manage somehow to wreck it, I could fix it, no problem. So you mean you're going to spend the day with me, washing clothes and buying groceries? He smiled at me, saying nothing. Aiden? I felt weak. What are we doing? What is this? He folded his hands over mine, squeezing the keys in my hand. I'm inviting myself into your life, if you'll have me, for a day, 2 days, a week, whatever time I have here with Jerry. I want you to know that I care about you and I want to be wherever you are, if you'll let me. We headed out into the mall parking lot, and I found myself walking faster than normal in the general direction of the car. I craned my neck, trying to see if I could spot it. So you'd like to drive? Aiden asked. I grunted at him, afraid to answer for some reason. It's a stick. I know you know how to handle one of those. This one will have more power than what you used to, though. You may want to... Just stop. I said, don't make me overthink it. I'm just going to do it. And yes, I know this is a lot more car than I'm used to. I'm aware. Don't worry. Here it is. He walked around to the driver's side door and opened it for me. I carefully stepped in and sunk down into the leather seat. Watch that clutch. It lets out near the top. Gotcha. I can't... I put the key in the ignition. I still can't believe you have one of these. That you heard me way back then and remembered me saying I always wanted one. It really wasn't that long ago, Litty. Think about how long I've been here. What's a decade or two to somebody like me? It's like the blink of an eye. I still think it's pretty dang awesome, I said, and I started up the car. We looked at each other, smiling in mutual appreciation of the motor's low rumbling. Ooh, listen to that. I cautiously revved the engine a little. Oh my God, Aiden. He smiled, his eyes sparkling. I love to see you happy. Let's go, I get to drive. He was right about the clutch. I choked it down trying to get it out of the parking space. Is this too much car for you? Aiden said, still smiling. Hardly. I just had to get a feel for it. Watch this. I spun out of the parking space a bit more violently than I meant to. Aiden was right. This was a lot more car than I was used to. I giggled at the power and flew through the parking lot like a damn fool. We got up to the light on High Point Road, and I squinted at the street signs. I'm trying to figure out the best way to get to my house from here, I said. I don't ever come to the mall for anything, so I don't ever need to know how to get home from here. Really? You want to go straight home? The light was red. I looked over at him. Your first time driving your dream car, tank full of gas, and you can't wait to go deal with a pile of dirty clothes? I have to get stuff done. He had a point, though. I revved the engine again. The light turned green, and I made a sharp right, definitely not in the right direction to go home. I feel you grinning over there, I said. Don't get too cocky. I know exactly what you're doing. Can we make a stop somewhere? First you want me to go, and then you want me to stop. What for? I just want to show you something. We won't stay long. Okay. Can I keep driving, though? Of course. It tickled me to death to take off from red lights and be able to go so fast that it pulled my head back a bit. I feel like I'm in a rocket ship, I said. You need to let me know where to turn. Just keep going. It's not too far. I like the takeoff, I said. It's really impressive. So why do you like this particular Corvette so much? I don't know, really. It's the color, the body style. It's just the sexiest car I've ever seen. You know I'd give it to you, right? I laughed. No way. I mean, I appreciate the thought, but no. You just spent more on makeup and stuff for me than I've spent my whole life. That's more than enough, really. Litty, you still don't get it. Can you turn left up here? Right here, yes. I whipped over into the turning lane and turned left. Pull over here in this parking lot. Gosh, is this it? Wasn't this some sort of, I don't know what it was, but I swear it was some sort of massage parlor or something. It had a sign out on Lee Street that made me think that. Whether it was or not, I don't know for sure. Aiden leaned over and put his hand on my arm. I have a lot of resources available to me, Litty. Truly. I don't have a chance to do nice things for people for no reason other than pure kindness and generosity very often. It'd really do my heart good if you'd allow me to do something for you. Nobody's stopping you from doing good deeds for people, I said. You can do that anytime you want for anyone you choose. He had a thoughtful look on his face but didn't respond. And it'd do your heart good? I put the palm of my hand flat against his chest. I don't seem to feel anything. No heartbeat. I smiled. You have no heart. You're heartless. He put his hands over mine and pressed more firmly against his chest. I felt the rhythmic thumping through his suit jacket. That's just for you, my dear. I jerked my hand away. That's creepy, I said. Don't fake a heartbeat like you're a live person. Dang. I don't know what it is, but there's something hypocritical about it. You never question the other things. What other things? I do all sorts of things to make people feel comfortable around me. Breathing, eating, drinking, sighing, rubbing my neck. It's all fake, but it serves a purpose. It's like good manners. You use them for others more than for yourself. I looked through the windshield at the building. You painted it. That's all you see? Well, that's the first thing I noticed. Would you like to go in and take a look around? Okay. He pulled the key out of the ignition. Here, hang on to this. Oh, no, He looked deep in my eyes. Okay, but I am not keeping this car. I know. I'm not. Okay. Aiden, let's go in. We walked up to the door, and Aiden held it open for me. I took a step in and almost stopped mid-stride. Oh, Aiden. This place was unlike anything I had ever seen. Granted, I had never been to a strip joint. Still haven't been in another one, as a matter of fact, so I had and still have nothing to compare it to. But this was the most beautiful place I had ever seen. Somehow I expected to walk in and see a bunch of half-naked women draped on fainting couches around the room. It was nothing like that. There wasn't a naked woman in sight. We strolled into a big Victorian-style parlor. Where are the hookers? I whispered. Sorry, not hookers. Strippers. He chuckled quietly. It's early in the morning. They're still at home. I thought we could take a tour while it's empty. This is the first time I've seen it myself. How can you build something without seeing it? I took a tasseled velvet curtain in my hand to feel the weight of the fabric. All I have to do is see it in my mind. Right up here, he tapped the side of his head. If you believe it, you can achieve it. Presto. Yeah, but how do you explain it to people in the area? You can't just conjure up a strip joint. You have a rundown old building suddenly go poof and turn it into something like this. It's not so hard, Aiden said. Chocolate? He held up a silver platter of tiny, exquisite treats, and I chose one. Oh, how it melted in my mouth. People believe things pretty readily. I whisper a thing or two in their ears, and it all makes sense. Believe it or not, this place looked just as you remembered it earlier this morning. Nobody will question it. Aside from the strippers, it's not all that different from what I did for Charles and Carl, and no one in the area of their churches wondered how they came to be either. It's awful but amazing at the same time. You're like some kind of evil magician. Evil? Why am I evil? I took another chocolate off the platter and held it in my hand. Are you serious? Think about it for a minute. What have I done that's so bad? I stared at him, dumbfounded. Come on, he said. Let's go check out the upstairs. The rest of the rooms had a similar theme. Lots of velvet and fancy trimmings. It looked more like a museum than a strip joint. There were poles in some of the rooms, but they were brass and more classy than what you might expect. I had a chance to talk to one of the managers, and I even got to check out the main dressing area for the performers. There were costumes and get-ups in there for every occasion, 5 walk-in closets full. No detail was left unattended as far as I could tell. He'd thought of everything, not that that surprised me. Aiden's nothing if not meticulous. We walked together back out to the car. How'd I do? He asked. Great as always. I'm sure Jerry will love it. We'll find out tonight. We? No, you. Please? Come on. Don't make me go to opening night all by myself. You won't be alone. You'll have more than enough beautiful women to keep you company. I have no desire to come back here to see that. And it really bugs me that you don't ask. You just assume I'm going to go along with whatever you're doing. I have a life, you know. Don't treat me like the people you convinced to sell their souls. I don't appreciate it. I pointed at the car. And don't think I don't know what you were trying to do when you tried to hand me your keys. You thought you could trick me into spending the day with you like I wouldn't know what you were doing. Aiden tossed the keys over to me, and as a reflex, I reached out and grabbed them. Of course you knew what I was doing. That doesn't make you clever. That makes you as smart as every other person I've ever worked with. I started to hand the keys back, but he shook his head. It's no insult to humans to say that I can sway people so easily. It has nothing to do with intelligence, yours or anyone else's. Seeing through the trick and still going along with it just speaks to the appeal of the things I have to offer. In all the world and in all the entire history of mankind, That's enough, I said. I get it. Just get in the stupid car. He smiled as he opened up the passenger door. That's my girl. Oh, shut up. Chapter 11. Jerry strolled through the mall, glancing in the windows of various stores, aware that there were some women checking him out. Yes, definitely. 2 or 3 at least. Women are a lot more subtle about that type of thing, so there could have been more that he just didn't notice. Coming close to Abercrombie & Fitch, Jerry felt a strange wave of urgency, almost an alarming sense of something overlooked, like he'd forgotten to complete an important task and just realized it. He quickened his pace, his head down as he walked. A hand grabbed his arm. Hey man, check this out. The man sprayed cologne onto Jerry's sleeve. Jerry pulled back. That ain't cool, man. The man smiled at him. Just take a minute and try it. Take a smell of that. Tell me it's not awesome. Jerry snorted and gave the man a hateful look. I don't wear that shit. He jerked his arm up to his nose and took an angry sniff. Got me smelling like I don't even know what that smell is. Like a damn pile of wet leaves or something. Jesus, dude, thanks a lot. The man stepped closer and put his hand on Jerry's shoulder. You don't get it. This could be life-changing. Life-changing? What the hell is wrong with you? The man moved his face in even closer to Jerry's. Come inside. Change your life. Get that girl of your dreams, Jerry. Jerry's eyes widened. You know who I am? The man smiled, then gestured to the store. Come on in. Please. Jerry stood there for a moment, not sure what to do. He leaned in and whispered, Do you know Aiden Gervais? Just come in, take a look around and see what you can find. Without another word, Jerry stepped inside. The aroma of the store overtook his senses. He fidgeted with the price tag on a t-shirt. $42! They're out of their damn mind. He walked around a display of belts and suspenders, stepped back to get a look at a pair of skinny jeans up on a tall display, and then bumped into someone. He turned around quickly, about to apologize, and he stopped. Hey, it's you. I just saw you a little bit ago at the gym. Gabriel, right? Gabriel smiled and shook his hand. Told you we'd meet again. Hey, it went really well with Amber, huh? You got her number. It went great. I may call her later. She's very beautiful. You made a real impression on her. I don't know if I should tell you this or not, but after you left, she called a friend of hers to tell her about the super hot guy she met. Really? For real? She really did that? Oh, yeah. She likes you. She wondered what the deal was with that lady you had there with you, though. Why did you bring her along? There was no need for that. Have more confidence in yourself. He grasped Jerry by the shoulders and turned him toward a full-length mirror. You're amazing. Look at yourself. You don't need a crutch, even with a woman like Amber. Jerry looked up and down at his reflection, then noticed his shirt. Oops, he said. I tried this on in Macy's and I just walked out in it. I don't know what happened to the shirt I had on when I went in there. Maybe Aiden's got it. Gabriel felt the fabric of the shirt. You don't have to worry about things like that anymore. Aiden's taking care of all that. You could pick up an armload of things in this store right now and just walk out without paying and nobody would stop you. They wouldn't even notice. It's all part of the deal. No worries. Call it an unexpected perk, but when Aiden works with people, they're like Teflon. No harm, no foul. Are you serious? I've got a never-ending supply of cash, and I could just pick up stuff and walk out with it? Gabriel winked at him. Okay, say I see a car in the parking lot that I like. Could I take that? You could? That can't be. It belongs to somebody. What would they do if they came out and saw their car was gone? Aiden would take care of it. See, you signed on to a pretty spectacular life. All your worries and problems are gone. Well, most of them. Notice how we can stand here in the middle of the store, the only two customers in the place, and not a single salesperson has bothered us? That's because right now, you don't want them to. The very moment you needed help, they'd be right here. But you said most of my problems are gone. What can't Aiden do? There's still free will, Gabriel said. And the fact that sometimes unanticipated things come up, unanticipated people show up. He pulled Jerry in closer. And unanticipated advocates. I don't have much time. Our meetings will have to be brief or Aiden's going to get suspicious. You absolutely cannot tell him anything about me, him or anybody else. You've never met me. You don't know me. Understand? I understand. Well, I don't really, but I'll keep my mouth shut. He eyed a rack of polo shirts. Go for it, Gabriel said. Jerry snickered and then grabbed every shirt off the rack and trotted out the door. No alarm sounded. No one gave him a second look. Gabriel waved to him. See you later. God bless you. Chapter 12. As Aiden called out directions like the nicest GPS narrator ever, I drove us through the city toward the posh boutique. It was a cute little place tucked away in a shopping center on State Street. I'd never seen it or heard of it, not that that's a surprise. I couldn't have afforded to even browse in that place on my salary. We stood outside the entrance, admiring the window displays of dresses, sequin purses, and fancy accessories. I don't need anything in there, obviously, I whispered like somebody else might hear me. How do you know? Aiden asked. That's just a few display items. The perfect thing for you could be waiting right behind that door. This isn't let's make a deal, I said. Are we here on purpose or are we heading somewhere else? Why'd we stop? Suddenly, the front door opened. A tall, thin man in a suit smiled at us. Aiden, hi. Come on in, you guys. I looked at Aiden and he nodded toward the door. You heard the man. Let's go. The store was so elegant, small but lovely. I shimmied around displays of tiaras, faux fur wraps, and satin heels. It's like where the Disney princesses would shop, I muttered. Aiden laughed. I didn't mean to say it out loud. The man introduced himself to me. My name is Travis, and I'm here to take care of your every need this morning. But I don't have any needs, I said, confused. And where did Aiden go? He had vanished. Travis took my arm. Well, come over here and have a look at these gowns anyway. I bet we'll find one here that you'll absolutely love. But I don't. I spotted a black sequin dress that took my breath away. Something about it was so captivating. I don't know what it was, but it made me forget what I was about to say. Travis noticed and took it off the hanger. Here, you have to try this on. He looked me up and down and then glanced at the dress. I bet this is even a perfect fit for you. Step this way. The dressing rooms are right back here. He handed me the dress, and I awkwardly wrapped it around my arm to keep it off the floor as I headed to the first dressing room. I caught my reflection in the mirror in the little room and did a double take. In the time since we'd left Macy's, I'd already forgotten about the makeover that Amber was so kind to do. She really did do a great job. I looked like a lady. It took a few minutes to shimmy into the dress. The little room wasn't big enough to fully see it in the mirror, and I knew I'd have to step outside to the three-way mirror to really see it properly. I took a deep breath and exited the dressing room. Aiden and Travis were right there when I came out, of course. I felt so self-conscious. Why couldn't they have been somewhere looking at bow ties or something? Talking about tuxedos. Did the store do tuxes? I was pretty sure they didn't, but at that moment I really wished they did. Without catching their eyes, I turned on my heel and faced the mirror. Oh my, I whispered as I turned slightly to see the dress better. I nervously smoothed the bottom out. Aiden, say something. Travis started clapping and then sprang forward and hugged me. It's beautiful, just beautiful. I thanked him but continued to look at Aiden. He smiled and touched my arm. Step back so I can see you. I stepped back and stood up straighter. Wow. Litty, He stopped. This is a first, I said. Aiden, are you speechless? He shook himself slightly. No, I'm not. You just... He cleared his throat. Travis says he has the perfect pair of shoes. Oh, I don't know. I felt around the dress trying to find a price tag. We don't want to go overboard. Aiden held up a little rectangular-shaped piece of paper. Looking for this? I reached out and he pulled it away. Nope, it's not important. Travis, would you be able to show the young lady some shoes and some hose? Maybe a clutch? I would be delighted. Just a moment. Actually, Litty, why don't you follow me? Aiden, if you'll have a seat. What followed was a blur of accessories, shoes, tiny purses, and all matters of bits and baubles, none of which had a single price tag on it. I looked over at Aiden a few times for help, but all he'd do was smile and nod. The next thing I knew, I was in a fancy salon, and my hair was being painted and wrapped in tinfoil by some man named Sven. Aiden was sitting nearby, grinning the whole time. Money, 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 I kept thinking, while Sven prattled on about highlights and different updos and whatnot. I had no idea how we ended up there. I couldn't see what was being done to my head. Out of nowhere, I called out across the room to Aiden, "What about my clothes?" Aiden held up a garment bag. "I have them right here." "What am I wearing?" I looked down at the lavender cape that Sven had draped over me. "What is all this?" Sven stopped working and patted my shoulder. "Honey, this is your day. Just relax. Leave everything to me." Well, me and Olga. A tall blonde woman sitting at a table loaded with nail care products gave me a little wave. "You're going to love it." 4 hours later, Aiden left the salon with someone I never would have recognized. Sven let me change back into my dress in a small room in the back after my hair, makeup, and nails were done. I turned around and gasped when I saw myself in the mirror. Damn, I thought, and then giggled. Everyone stopped and stared when I came out of the changing room. I felt like I was auditioning for a fabric softener commercial the way my dress flowed and moved as I walked. Aiden was standing by the salon's front door, and he held out his hand to me as I approached. "How much do I owe?" I asked, and he laughed. "How much do you think you owe?" Sven came rushing up and put his arm around my shoulder. "I just have to say, you're the most beautiful woman I've seen come through my door in quite a while. Truly," he patted my cheek lightly, "lovely. How much?" Oh, come on," he said. "It was a pleasure. Aiden," he shook Aiden's hand firmly. "Once again, it was very nice to see you. And Miss Litty, you enjoy your evening tonight, okay?" This was a conversation I really didn't feel like continuing, so I let it go. Aiden held the door, and I stepped out into the late afternoon sun. I squinted at a few wispy clouds, then suddenly remembered what we'd left back at my house. Shoot! We forgot about the laundry. "That's no problem," Aiden said, offering an elbow to hold on to as we walked back to the car. "I can easily take care of that little detail for you." "No way. Look, we're only a 10-minute drive away from my house. Let's take... Litty, you just allowed me to do all these things for you, which I thoroughly enjoyed watching and participating in, by the way. So what is the big deal about the laundry? It's a heap of wet clothes. We're not even talking about worldly goods or ill-gotten gain here. Come on. Please?" I let out a sigh and watched some pansies in a nearby planter bobble in the breeze. "You're bound to be starving by now. You haven't had a bite to eat since we left the diner this morning, and now..." He pulled out a pocket watch. "We're coming up hard and fast on dinner time. Boy, we skipped lunch altogether. I'm really sorry about that. I guess the time just got away from me." It hadn't occurred to me before he mentioned it how long it had been since we last ate, and trust me, I am definitely not one of those "I just forgot to eat" people. Right after this thought, I felt a crazy, intense hunger pain that almost doubled me over. "All right, fine, I get your point. Can you please do something about my stomach growling after you take care of the laundry?" He looked over at me and caught my eye. "Consider it done." Chapter 13. Jerry fished in his pants pocket for the key as he walked through the lobby toward the elevator. He hadn't put it there, but he knew he'd find it. The elevator doors opened, and he inserted the key in the slot. It turned easily, and he pressed the button for the penthouse. "Ha!" he said to no one. "Big time." He watched the numbers tick up. "I'm on my way. I'm making it." The doors opened directly into the foyer. Hell, I have made it. A tall man in a black suit appeared. "Good afternoon, sir." Jerry jumped a bit. "Ho, where'd you come from?" "I'm your concierge, sir. Would you care for a drink?" "Are you serious?" "I'm sorry, sir?" "No, never mind. You got any beer?" "We have a wide variety, sir. If you have a particular type in mind." "Just a plain old Budweiser?" "Yes, sir." The man turned and walked away. Concierge. Jerry strolled into the living room and picked up a small touchpad on a glass table. "What's this do?" "Just about anything you like," Jerry heard a voice behind him say. He whirled around, almost dropping the pad. "Gabriel, how'd you get in?" Gabriel laughed and took the pad from Jerry's hand. "Really? Angels don't need keys. I go wherever I want, whenever I want." He touched a few things on the pad, and the stereo came to life. "You're going to have to start getting ready soon." "For the thing? That's a ways off. I've got like 3 or 4 hours." The concierge returned with a large tray holding several bottles of beer, a dish of pretzels, and glasses. "Hey, thanks, man," Jerry said. "What's your name?" He quickly looked over at Gabriel. "And can you see this guy?" "My name is Daniel, sir, and yes, I see the gentleman. How do you do?" Gabriel smiled and nodded. "Who hired you?" Daniel looked back at Jerry. "I think you know, sir." "I'm to see to it that you have everything you need, sir. I've taken the liberty of making a few selections from your wardrobe for your review." Jerry leaned in closer to Gabriel. Is he like one of you guys?" "No, he's one of you." "Thanks," Jerry said to Daniel, "but I'll look at him later. I'll probably pick out my own clothes, though. Nothing personal. I'm just not used to this sort of stuff. I'll drink my beer and take a look later." "Yes, sir. I'll retire to the kitchen. Please don't hesitate to let me know if you need anything." "Yeah, man, thanks." Jerry opened a beer and took a big drink. He let out a loud "ah" He looked around, then back at Gabriel. "What are you grinning about?" Gabriel shook his head, still smiling. "This just kills me. I'm sorry." "What do you mean?" "This is Aiden's job, not some guy he hired and dressed up in a nice suit. He's supposed to be here to meet your every need, and what does he do? He sends in some man to take care of it for him. It's just pathetic, that's all." "Where is he?" "Right now? He's squiring Litty about town, lavishing attention on her that he's supposed to be giving to you." I hate to sound so frustrated, but it really irritates me when I see angels not doing their job. There's no excuse for it. Jerry almost drained the beer, then belched. He wiped his mouth on his shirt sleeve. "Hey man, it's cool. I told him I didn't need him. I'm cool. And look," he pulled a large wad of money out of his pocket. "He is taking care of me. No matter how much money I take out of there, there's always more. I've got it all covered." "But he's supposed to check in on you occasionally, if nothing else. He's not done that today, has he? You haven't seen him since you split up at Macy's. Has he checked in even once since that time?" "Well, no, but like I said, Gabriel grabbed a beer off the tray and opened it. "I realize he didn't give you a good overview of what you can expect or what you're entitled to receive. That's not your fault. It's his. You had no way of knowing how inappropriate it is for him to hire a butler to do his job for him here." He took the half-empty bottle from Jerry and handed him the full one. "What excuse does he have for not being here? What else does he have to do?" Jerry took a drink and shrugged. "I don't know. Hey, can I have that touchpad back? I want to play with it." Gabriel took Jerry's beer and set it on the table. "Listen to me. This should infuriate you. Think about what you sacrificed, what you'll never have again. You gave up a hell of a lot, and you're not being given everything you deserve. Doesn't that piss you off at least a little bit?" Jerry picked the beer back up. "I guess it should, and if he keeps on blowing me off, maybe it will. But right now, I'm just interested in finding out what other cool things I have here. You know what I always thought would be fun to play with? A t-shirt cannon. Like, see what stuff you can shoot in it, stuff in it and shoot out. One time this guy..." "Jerry, stop," Gabriel said. "Forget all that for a second and listen to me. You're getting shafted. Aiden's using your ignorance of all that you're entitled to enjoy the benefits that he gets out of this situation. Has he given any thought to tonight? Are all the details taken care of? I guess we won't know until we get there since Aiden's too busy with his little girlfriend to be concerned about it." Jerry took another swig of beer. "Seriously, man, why the hell do you care so much? I don't really get why you care at all. You said you were one of the good guys, so why should it matter to you what he does for me? Like I said, it just galls me to see an angel, any angel, falling down on the job. It's not fair either. We have a job to do, and he's not keeping up his end of the bargain. Somebody needs to call him out on it, that's all. Sorry, but that kind of stuff sounds like something God ought to handle, not you. I thought y'all were into that judge not stuff." Gabriel took the beer out of Jerry's hand and took a long drink. He handed back the empty bottle. "Sometimes God stops listening," he said. "Sometimes it becomes way too clear that nobody gives a damn, so I have to. I believe everyone should be held accountable for their actions. Don't you?" "Well, yeah, but I'm fine, really. I've got everything I want." And Aiden said, "Everything? Really?" Jerry gave him a hard look. "Yeah. You don't have Amber." "Amber? No, not yet, but you want me to get that ball rolling? Obviously nobody else is." "What are you going to do?" Jerry's cell phone began ringing in his pocket. "I've already done it," Gabriel said. Jerry stared at him as he fumbled around to retrieve the phone. "What'd you do?" "Just answer it." Jerry put the phone up to his ear. "Hello?" A shocked look crossed his face. "What do I do?" he whispered to Gabriel. "Talk." "Hey, sorry," he said, turning his attention back to the phone. "I what? Oh, sorry about that. I thought she... Okay, right, sure, I can do that." Gabriel stood there holding Gary's gaze and smiling. "Ask her out," he said quietly. Jerry stood up straighter.
Hey, listen, I have an idea. Maybe I can pick it up tonight. Like, if you want me to. If you don't, that's okay. Really, but I have this thing tonight, and I thought... He stopped and covered the phone with his hand. This is stupid, he whispered to Gabriel. Gabriel's face tightened. He produced a mirror from his jacket pocket. Look at yourself, he said. You're a god among men, Jerry. Any woman in this town would kill to have a chance to go with you tonight. Stop being that dumpy loser from Best Buy and be the guy you see in the mirror. Do it. He slapped Jerry on the arm. Get back on there before she hangs up. Jerry uncovered the phone. Hey, Amber, sorry about that. He took a deep breath and let it out slowly. I got a question for you. Would you want to go to Pure Platinum with me tonight? He moved away from Gabriel, strolling toward the windows. Yeah. No, it's the name of my new club. Here in Greensboro, yeah. No, I'm serious. The grand opening is tonight. Huh? It's right off Lee Street, over near UNCG. You know that old white building that used to be a theater or something? That big old building. Uh-huh. It's right there. Yeah, the name of it is Pure Platinum. My club, yeah. I'd love it if you'd be my date tonight, for the grand opening. I could get that jar of stuff Litty forgot to get this morning. The moisturizer, yeah. So what do you think? Gabriel approached, turned to face him and smiled. Yeah, really? Hey, that's great. No, I can come pick you up. It's semi-formal, so... Hang on a sec. He covered the phone again. What should she wear? I don't even know what I'm supposed to wear yet. Tell her to wear a little black dress. Little what? Black dress? What if she doesn't have one? Just tell her. Okay. Amber, little black dress. Yeah, that'd be perfect. No, I just need your address. Gabriel handed him a pen and notepad, and he scribbled the information down. Sounds great. Okay. I'll pick you up at 8. Now, how about 6? I'll take you out to dinner first, if you want. His eyes lit up. You will? Awesome. Okay, I'll see you then. Bye. He put the phone back in his pocket. Man, you are unbelievable. You set that up? Mm-hmm. Jerry grabbed his hand and shook it hard. Thank you. I still say it's a shame that I had to be the one to do it for you. Maybe so, but I don't really care right now. Shoo, I'm tickled shitless. Alrighty then. Interesting way to put it, but okay. I really appreciate it, man. You do? How much? What do you mean? Do you appreciate it enough to do me a little favor? Like what? Just take a drive with me. What, like right now? Gabriel looked off in the distance for a moment. In a little while. Maybe like an hour. Just be dressed for tonight before we go. An hour? What do I do until then? Well, you could go up on the roof and take a swim. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. An hour, right? You got it. Cool. See you then. Jerry darted off to the roof access. Daniel appeared with a glass of champagne on a tray. Gabriel removed the glass and took a sip. Big evening planned, eh, sir? Gabriel grinned. Indeed. May I be of assistance? Gabriel removed a large roll of cash from his pocket and laid it on Daniel's tray. You could forget you ever saw me here. Daniel's eyes boggled, but he maintained his composure. Consider it done, sir. That's a good man. And we're going to stop there for now. That is the end of chapter 13. And we will start with chapter 14 next time. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this little segment of my story holiday. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you again soon.